In order to gain category approval for watches, we must first submit 5 perfect images of watches to Amazon. These cannot have any shadow, they must have a pure white background, and they cannot be a digital rendering. So what I'm going to do is first use Amazon's own website to source watch images. Now that we're here, can click on and choose what category of watches we want to source from. Just go sport. It's showing different brands that you can choose from. And let's start off with this G-Shock one, looks pretty decent. When I hover over the watch image, I notice that it's actually quite blurry. So I'm going to find another watch to use. This looks pretty cool. You can tell it's not digital rendering because it has some dust on the image up top. So how we're gonna get this image, you'll notice you can't just right click and save the image as. I'm using Safari as a browser. Go develop, show page source. Now you'll see these different folders. You're gonna go down to the images one, and now just with your keyboard, just press arrow down until you come across really gigantic image. Here it is. Now we're just gonna save that onto our desktop and find 4 more images that we want to use. Seems alright. Notice there's no shadow there. We're just gonna go develop, show page source. Scroll down until we find largest version. All of these ones that have Amazon zoom in ability, just about everything will always be over 1,000 pixels. You'll be able to check in your image editing program to be sure, but it's almost always over 1,000 if it does the zoom over, roll over. This one looks pretty decent. Go develop, show page source, then scrolling down from the images folder until you come across really gigantic image. Here it is. Now we're just going to save that onto our desktop. This one would be a bit harder since the white blends into the silver there. It'll just be a little bit more difficult to extract. This one looks alright. No zoomable image. This one looks alright. Go develop, show page source, then scrolling down from the images folder until you come across really gigantic image. Now we're just going to save that onto our desktop. Black images can be a bit easier to extract because the difference in color is so pronounced, but we'll get another silver one just to show as an example. This looks good. Amazon might flag this as a render. It just looks really good. We're gonna look for something else then. So this looks more realistic, like it was a product photo. So we're gonna keep that one. Go develop, show page source, then scrolling down from the images folder until you come across really gigantic image. Now we're just gonna save that onto our desktop. We have our 5 images. Now I'm going to open up all of them in Photoshop. You can use another image editing program. The idea should be the same. I'll do the same thing for every single category that I'm trying to get into. We have our watch here. We're going to do Command J to make a duplicate layer. And now one of the first things you'll think is, hey, we have this on a completely white background. Why don't we just give this to Amazon right now? Well, unfortunately, that's wrong, because we'll zoom in here. I'll show you that. We'll click right here. All right, that's showing as pure white. Up, showing as pure white. It's now showing not pure white. You'll know it's pure white if it says 255, 255, 255, or using the hexadecimal, it's 6 Fs, or if this is in the very upper left. So basically, right now, we're clicking on something that looks like it's pure white, but it's not at all. And what happens is Amazon, they test your photo by using a paint bucket tool. They might just use a Windows computer and paint program, but then they just go, oh, look at that. It's not pure white at all. And then you have to remove all this. So what we do instead is we use the magic wand tool, click on the white background with the magic wand tool. Shift adds to the magic wand selection, and Option subtracts, so we just hold Shift. Because right now the background selected as well, we want to go select inverse. Now only bit that's selected is the watch. So we want to copy this, Command C, create a new layer by holding Command, Option, Shift, and N. We have to copy on the correct layer, and Command C again, then go to the new layer that's empty, Command V to paste. Look at that brand new clean layer. Everything's cut out. And how we can test this to make sure there's no jagged edges like there was with our previous one is go G for paint bucket tool and just make any kind of vibrant color selection here. Drop it down underneath, and you'll see that there's really not any of that crazy contamination left. They just want to make sure that it passes that paint bucket test. Now we're going to go and save as. You can save the PSD file just in case for whatever reason you messed up on your image. So we'll just call this Casio 1. But make sure to export it, and always go and save as a ping file. So then that way it's just a completely blank background. And so it's on our desktop right now. Saved it with that layer checked. So we want to uncheck that. Save that as a ping file. Now it's switched back, so that's good. It'll just show gray in this background. Now let's move on to the next one. We're still going to use the same idea. We're going to do Command J to make a duplicate layer. I'll show you the test again with this one. G for the paint bucket. Look at that. Look how messed up this is. It's all blocky around the edges. We don't want that. Amazon doesn't want that. Magic wand is W. Click on the white background with the magic wand tool. You know what? Let's try and adjust the tolerance down to really, really small. A 2. There's a little bit. It's messed up. Let's bump that right back up. It's missing little bits of this, but that really doesn't matter. So let's go select inverse, Command C, copy, create a new layer by holding Command, Option, Shift, and N, or you can press down here for new layer. Command V, paste. Alright, it just looks like a clean background again. And can see what it looks like with white by creating a new layer, G, then again bring it all the way to the upper left. You'll see it's 255 for the R, G, and B channels. And I filled it with the wrong color. Cool image, huh? See, it didn't matter that we didn't get perfection around here, because when we zoom out, it just looks like a good watch photograph. So we're going to save this PSD, watch 2, also save a ping. Let's work on the next image. I'm going to go up here, duplicate the layer, Command J. First, we're going to use the paint bucket tool to test the image for background contamination. Look at that. So if we use the eyedropper tool again, this won't be pure white. Nope, see, that last one wasn't pure white. So that's where Amazon gets you. Magic wand is W. Click on the white background with the magic wand tool. Select inverse. So now only the watch is being selected by that path. Go Command C, new layer, Command V. There we go. You can double check it if you want by using our paint bucket in a bright color. Look at that, it looks completely clean. Save as watch 3. And we'll save the ping, and that's what we'll submit to Amazon. We'll upload the ping files. Let's work on the next image. Command J, and what we're going to do right here is we're going to check the image size just to show you what we're looking at. See, the height is way over the 1001 pixels, so we're all good. Select the magic wand tool with keyboard shortcut W. So we can go in here and select these little bits by holding Shift. See that plus sign comes up. Select inverse. Copy with Command C. Create the new layer. Press Command V to paste the image on the new layer. Perfect. And double check by going to G to use the paint bucket tool. Looks great, but let's step back. Go Command Z, and then even further back, Command Option Z. That's Control Alt Z when using Windows. We'll save out this watch. Also save a ping. Alright, this is our last one. Command J to create a duplicate layer. Select the Magic Wand tool with keyboard shortcut W. Click on the white background with the Magic Wand tool. Select Inverse. Command-C, copy. Create a new layer by holding Command, Option, Shift, and N, or just click that button like I did. And Command-V, paste. It's looking good. Another way to test is just to go New Layer, G for Paint Bucket, fill that in, and you can drop it underneath there, and you'll see that it's clean. We'll just hide that though, and we'll save out our last image. And we'll save the ping, and that's what we'll submit to Amazon.